in Philippians, I spoke to a lady this week who was in South Africa for the St. James, was it St. James Massacre? 1993. St. James Church Massacre. Gunmen walked into the church, opened fire. There's a lot of miracles involved in there, in that only one door was open at the time. Normally it's all the doors around the building are open, and what they intended to do was walk in through I think 5 different doors and just start firing. But only one door was open. This lady was supposed to be there that night, but her child got sick, and so they were at home. There was a woman there that was killed who had a ministry to, her and her husband had a ministry to the Russian seamen that came into the port, and she was killed. Her husband was not, but they'd had dinner a couple of nights beforehand, and this woman who had been killed had said to the lady that I spoke to, she said, you know, I've been reading in Philippians, and I just can't get past this verse, and it just means so much to me, and it's not the easiest of verses. It's Philippians chapter 3 and verse 10. Well, let's start from verse 7. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 7. What things were gain to me, those I counted loss for Christ. In fact, I count all things loss for the excellency of just knowing Jesus, for whom I have suffered the loss of everything, and I count them dung, that I may win Christ, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Jesus Christ. The righteousness is of God by faith. And verse 10, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. That doesn't sound like sitting on a pew waiting on a rapture. That sounds like I'm going to do absolutely everything within my power to be as Christ-like as I can, even if that means dying for Jesus. Even if that means dying for Jesus, I'm in. Whatever it takes. And that's the sort of commitment that Jesus demands of us. Why? So that everybody possible can hear about Jesus. The Bible says it is God's will that none should perish. And none means the nasty neighbour next door. I've got one of those. I've got some nice neighbours, and I've got nasty neighbours, a druggie next door. Right? Jesus wants the druggie in heaven. My son's just been sentenced to home detention for a burglary and kidnapping, which he got caught up in because of a little greasy-haired pea addict scumbag that Jesus wants in heaven. Wayne Watson, when I met him in the Philippines, one of the guys that I was with, a bunch of American Christian radio announcers, he says, Wayne, he said, I'll tell you, there's one concert of yours I absolutely remember, and it was way back in 1983, and he says, it was at such and such festival, he says, and you walked out on stage, and it was a time when Madonna was really big and like a virgin and all that. And he says, you walked out on stage and you stood there and you said, I don't want Madonna in my heaven. And everybody cheered, and he said, shame on me and shame on you. Jesus wants everyone in heaven. And he's given us the responsibility of showing him to them so that they will want to be with him. You might remember, and I'll just finish with this, you might remember a while ago an advertisement on TV, and I'm pretty sure it was for Just Right cereal when it first came out. And it was 2 women sitting in what looked like a hotel restaurant breakfast, and one of them was having the Just Right meal, and she's, oh. And the other one just sat there, and when the waitress came out, she's, oh, have what she's having. Mm-hmm. Why? Because she was enjoying it so much. Right? Do our friends and neighbours and workmates see us enjoying the life that Jesus gives us? Shining the light, doing the works, doing everything we can to attain that position that we need to attain, so that also they will look at us and go, what is it in you? What is it in you that is different? Tell me about your Jesus. Instead of when we go to them and say, let me tell you about my Jesus, and they look, oh, I've seen your life. If that's what your Jesus does, I don't want to borrow it. Right? It's a different step up. It's a step up from playing wing for the All Blacks as a part-time rugby player and being a professional rugby league player for Wigan. Right? And you have to go, I'm in. And when you find out how hard it is, you have to go, I'm still in. Because some people go, yeah, I'm in, and they find out how hard it is, and they go, I'm not in anymore. This is too hard. I just hope I make it to heaven. Right? And that's not going to work. Yeah? We don't get to heaven by works at all. There's no way we can attain. There's no way you can. There's the whole seesaw thing. People go, oh, it's like, are you a good person? So you've got the seesaw going, well, I think I've done enough good works to actually balance it so that the good works side is better than the bad works side. You go, well, yeah, but the bad works are still there, aren't they? There is no religion on earth that can deal with the bad works. Not a single religion on the planet that can deal with the bad works. One person dealt with them on the cross.
That's right.
Completely. He says, you know how I deal with that? I take them on me. Every single one. I will take them on me. They're gone. You don't need good works. The good works is never part of that. Jesus says, you can't do it. I died for you. You just accept what I did, and then you live for me, and you be obedient to me. And sometimes that's hard. We had a call just recently. I've been working for Radio Rima since 1992, and we got called just recently to leave Rima and pastor a church. And normally when somebody asks me if I want to pastor a church, I go, no, you know what, I'm out of here. But this time God just tapped me on the shoulder. He said, your answer is yes. I go, no, it's not, it's no. He goes, no, it's yes. And then this guy rings up and he says, oh, I hear you coming to Caddy. We go, yeah. And he says, you're looking for a house? I go, yeah. He says, well, I'm about to leave Caddy, and I've got a house here. It's up on a hill, and it's got views of the whole of Matakana Island, and right round, and at the back it's got the Kaimais. It's got 5 bedrooms, it's got a huge master bedroom, 3 double bedrooms, plus a single bedroom, plus an office, and a 3-car garage, one of which has been jibbed off into a 7-metre room, plus another 2-car garage, plus a 50-tree orchard, and 5 acres of land for $350 a week. And God goes, no,